In this episode, I will share some common scams in the Philippines. Creative staff says, I had been here for a few years. I arrived in Manila and had a flight in CDO the next morning, so I got a hotel and didn't want to wait for them to pick me up. A lady asked if I needed a taxi and where I was going. It was a chart with areas and prices. She said it would be 1,500 pesos. I laughed and said some words and told her I would get a Grab. The Grab was 420 pesos. It had me thinking how much money they make with scamming regular tourists. Precisely. Although Grab is a viable option, most people do not tell you that Grab drivers themselves can be a pain in the butt, because oftentimes they cancel, or they ask you to cancel because they accept the ride without seeing the destination and they realize maybe it's too far, it's not worth their time. Also, during traffic hours or perhaps even bad weather, such as rain, good luck trying to find a Grab ride that would accept your request. You can spend 1 or 2 hours waiting for someone to actually give you a ride. CMA says, yeah, I'm a Filipino and we never take taxis from the airport. Just Grab. Saves you the hassle of getting into a fight with the taxi driver. Taxi scams are very common and you should be aware of them in the Philippines. 2 Feet and Beat says, a guy tried to charge me 3,000 pesos to go from one terminal to another. I asked if he was on drugs and got out. Grab was like 250 or so. Do says, this is 100% a regular scam. I was quoted 4,000 pesos from Terminal 1 to Terminal 3. 2 passengers with lots of luggage, and this was a long time ago before there was Grab. Since we had several hours, we just took a shuttle bus, which was not pleasant either. Long waits and filled up with people. Anyhow, this was our experience. In the Philippines, people try to make a buck any which way you can. Otherwise, Growth says, I know about 3 Australian guys that bought houses for themselves and their girlfriends and completely supported their girlfriends only to arrive in the Philippines unannounced, and the first guy found the girl had a male cousin in bed with his girlfriend. The second guy walked in and found an entire Filipino family living there. It turned out his girlfriend sold it and all his stuff and moved back to the province. The third guy walked in and found his girlfriend sleeping with her female cousin and had a collection of, quote, toys. The classic big 4 are, my mom is sick and needs operation and medicine. That I want to go to school so I can help support us, but I need money. And the good old, my family's business is in trouble and they need a loan. You have been to my bar a bunch of times and see it's going great, but I'm cash poor right now and I like you, so I'm willing to sell you 10% of the bar. The best advice I could possibly give anyone new to the Philippines is assume everyone is scamming you all the time until proven otherwise. And by everyone, I mean locals and expats. This is precisely what I've been saying on this channel for months and over a year now. These are not even my words, and seems like many other people have been using my exact statements because it is true. You cannot trust anyone in this country. Pull Up says, I had a security guard try the mom scam on me because he saw me earlier in the night at the bar. I said, sorry to hear that, but I don't have any money. Rejected the scam. He goes, no, you're going to give me it. 800 pesos. I'm not asking. My response was, you messed up and waited until the end of my trip, and at the end of the night, you can empty all my pockets. I have like 60 pesos left, and I'm on a hunt for balut to try before I leave tomorrow. He, at that point, realized he was getting nowhere and left me alone. Many Filipinos will try to intimidate you, especially if you are older, because they know you are in a vulnerable position. They know that you do not want to start anything, a fight or a commotion, and oftentimes try to strong-arm you into giving them some money. There are many other scams. These are just a few I've read. Creative staff says, I think that varies. Way back in the day, I went to a hole in the wall, a rocky gym type, and back then, 30 years ago, the key was $20 for a regular door key. It was a great gym though. I agree, the key fob costs way too much as fuck. This is in regards to the key fob from Anytime Fitness. It should be free by default. You don't pay for the keys, you pay for the gym. I guess someone was scanned at the gym. Gaylord Fokker 2023 says, the biggest is the romance scams. Lots of foreigners send money through Western Unions. Common scams are no change scam. People say they have no change because they want to keep the change. Interesting. The bullet scam. People were placing bullets in the luggage of tourists in Naya a while ago. Special mention to sob story scam. People will bring up any sob story because they want money. That's true. All of the above are scams in the Philippines. Meathead says, an employee fixer at the ferry at Bantayan Island overcharged me about 300 pesos, and I fell for it because he was wearing the ferry uniform and even got the ticket from inside the office. The price was higher than what I had paid for, and even had a photo of the pricing chart on my phone that I showed him. He had approached me because I arrived on my motorcycle. I usually don't trust anyone that approaches me first, but the uniform threw me off. Since then, I always go to the service window and have no problems. This is excellent. You need to be aware. Just because someone seems official, is wearing a uniform, has a badge, or anything, it does not automatically give them the authority to request any money from you. Always deal directly with the offices. A second person, Lost Coach, confirms this. A similar thing happened to me one time in Cebu. I was in a bar having drinks by my lonesome. When it was near midnight, a girl in what looked like the bar's cashier uniform told me that the bar was about to close and that I had to pay my tab. Told me my total was 850 pesos, so I gave her 1,000. She said she'll be back in a bit with my change. I found out it was a scam when the real cashier went up to me to get my payment for my drinks. I told her I already gave it to the skinny cashier. Turns out they don't have a cashier that fits that description. I gave her. That's when I realized I got scammed for 1,000 pesos. Silly me, the uniform threw me off as well. Or this was actually another server, another bartender, and the second bartender pretended that she does not know the first one. Any way you can think of, they will try to scam you. Travel the World 86 says, a married girl was married in the Philippines and dating a guy from New Zealand and would send her large amounts of money, almost $4,000 a month, so she built a house and bought a car. The guy surprises her by coming to the Philippines without telling her and finds her with her husband in the house. It goes all crazy, and the guy from New Zealand gets arrested because it's all in her name, and messages showed that he was gifting her the money. So imagine that. Another perfect example of why you never send money to anyone abroad. Significance Fast says, Filipino American here. I speak Bisaya, but look like a middle-aged square white guy from the US. Every time I visit, I always play stupid so that I can listen to people talk about me. Most of the time, it's pleasant, guapo talk. Other times, it turns to the foreigner has lots of money. That's when I bounce. The way I avoid scams is via proxy, someone who is your go-to guy to run errands and handle menial tasks. That way you enjoy your time and avoid nonsense. I will share one last one which is very important for those people who are new to the country. Outrageous says, properties. 90% brokers are unlicensed scammers. Construction. 90% construction workers and contractors are unlicensed and scammers. By experience, the same rate for lawyers. They take 100,000 pesos acceptance fees, then withdraw for unacceptable, pathetic reasons. If not withdrawing, they will do kalo, sell your case to the other party. Everything with big money involved is high prone to scam or ripoff, condominiums, businesses, etc. And around all those the public satellites will extort, blackmail, city engineer, BIR boarding house, commission, BIR fixers, everywhere. Even Bureau of Immigration are constantly splashing by scandals of extortion and scam. I got scammed by my wife's brother-in-law, investigator who told me had an architect relative. We met him. He showed his license. During the construction of the foundations, I saw several defects. So we checked at the Capitol. His license is legit, yeah, except it's not him. He was not an architect, but his cousin's cousin, who had 3 warrants of arrest in Boracay for scam, and he was using his license while the other one was hiding. You really can't trust anyone in the Philippines, not even family. Hopefully, there were some new scams in there that you did not know about, or at least now you have a better understanding if you've never been to the Philippines. Let's read yesterday's best comment from Chuck Jumer. I left because I was constantly sick. Better hope you don't get dengue because it's brutal. I've seen what it does to people. I did a couple of stays at one of the best hospitals in the Philippines, and each time was bizarre, but I got through it. Thankfully, I had a watcher and a nice nest egg because you pay as you go, and if you run out of money, treatment stops. My insurance actually paid over half, but you're not prepared for medical emergencies. You may end up wishing you'd never been born. It's really bad. This is related to yesterday's video of someone getting sick in the Philippines and never fully recovering even after 11 months. The worst comment is from Rosalina, who continues to watch every video and makes dumb comments, and this one just got her kicked off the channel. She says, "Stop using Propol profile, idiot." Thanks for watching. God bless.